Okay, right then. Part 3, Only Fools and Horses. Welcome back to Discussions with Deggers. Guys, if you want to see the previous episodes, they are the 2 previous videos. So basically, just 2 old mates talking about Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, welcome back, guys.
So the last one then, we finished talking about season 6, Little Problems, and then the Christmas special, 1989.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick up there. So it was the Jolly Boys outing, your favourite
let's
episode?
let's start this off, which, yes, I'm going to repeat what Diggy just says. My favourite episode, greatest ever. From start to finish, absolutely just, well, I remember, it was like, I always remember it took us a bit of a while to know that this actual episode existed, really.
Yeah.
I actually...
What is that?
Well, the bit of story, cut it short, guys. I actually went to buy this from W.H. Smith's in Warsaw, and on VHS. And
For people in America, Warsaw is like in the Midlands area of England.
It's when Warsaw was a proper town centre, which I might add. It was in an era where it was great to go shopping in Warsaw because you had your brands that were still up, in business, like your BHS, C&A's, Debenhams, Littlewoods, John Menzies, Woolworths. I had a proper cinema in Warsaw, but that's another discussion. But again, it was a pleasure to go. Virgin was there selling CDs and VHS as well. Dixon's, Curry's, you name it. It had Tesco's, proper old school. So it was anyway. I went to go to Warsaw one day and I bought this on VHS from W.H. Smith's for $10.99. The Jolly Boys outing. And when I got home, obviously, when I watched it on the VHS, in fact, actually, after I watched it, I rang you and says, I've just seen a brilliant episode of Only Fools and Horses, the Jolly Boys outing. And I said, Deggy, you've got to lend this, mate. It's brilliant. From start to finish, from the scene at the market, when Del Boy's telling Marlene about the Jolly Boys outing, and Marlene saying, well, I don't want him getting any mischief going on in Margate with him and another bird or whatever. He said, don't worry, we'll be there a couple of hours, and and then it's next thing you know, it's the dinner party, Cassandra and Rodney's with that mush Stephen from the bank and his wife Warren, and next year a game of Trivial Pursuit.
Brilliant. And
the scene, guys, the famous question, what is a female swan called?
Yeah.
And of course, Del Boy's now Rodney's got the pen going on, and he's all that, and he says, oh, got it, it's a bick. Everyone knows. But again, and next thing you know, from that moment in the episode, it's all into to Margate, foot down on the coach to Margate, and it's just absolutely all the characters. Obviously, Del Rodney, Uncle Albert, Sid from the Calf, Mike, Denzel with his ear infection. Then you got Boise and Trigger. Even Alan was there, Cassandra's dad, Mickey, Jevon. They were all on the couch. Yeah. Every single character was there, the well-liked character, Only Fools and Horses. And it was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course then you realised how Del and Raquel met up again. And again, I WhatsApped you recently, a legendary extended the scene in the nightclub. And I thought, I can't believe they left that out.
I know.
That's criminal, because it's little things like that. Yeah. And again, the reason why they knew about the nightclub is because obviously during the pub, Mike met up with another bloke. There was a landlord around Peckham. So again, he obviously Del doing the old, my business is going to the nightclub. So Del got some free tickets, Mike got some free tickets. So it's just absolutely well-written episode.
Yeah.
I don't think please guys, let me know whether you agree with me or not. I want to know your opinions. Do you believe that the Jolly Boys outing 1989 Christmas special to Margate was the best ever in Only Fools and Horses history? Because I personally, in my opinion, there's been so many great episodes. I think you've got Yuppie Love when he fell through the bar, but we're going to get on to to Heroes and Villains episode with the Batman, the legendary Batman and Robin scene. So that's up there. But I personally will,
Jolly Boys.
Jolly Boys out all day long for me.
And there's another good couple of scenes in that one is, so the driver, you always say about your saying.
Yeah.
What voice he says.
That was it, yeah. Bit of a chuck with this. What do you mean chucking? What did you mean? She says, it's alright, just chuck him on the back seat and then sleep it off. Chuck him on the back seat. He's the driver. And
hold on, he wasn't drunk. What was
it? All along it was the fumes from the radio. The Del Boy was trying to flog at the market. And of course, guys.
So the following
leads up to when the
Rodney, Mickey, and Jevon are all playing football. Rude Ali.
Nowhere. Rodney, give me that ball.
No, you've been Rude Ali.
Nowhere.
He kicks the ball.
And it's the copper.
It's the copper. Rodney gets arrested.
Yeah.
He's on the phone to Cassandra. I think it's a bit unfair to say that everything Del Boy touches
goes wrong. And the coach
in the background. The coach.
And the best thing about that is when Del Boy, that scene, he's got his arm around the coach driver, who's now obviously regained a bit of consciousness. He says, "Don't worry, Harry, I won't tell your governor about it. You're all right."
So because the coach blows up, there's no trains.
No.
They get stranded.
They're on strike
in Margate.
Yeah.
And then obviously
they don't get a new coach till the next day.
They're all running around.
They're all stranded in Margate trying to find digs now.
And they end up in that spooky hotel.
The Villa Bella.
Yeah.
Actually, it's mentioned in here. Sorry, guys.
No, mate. This is what it's all about.
Honestly, there's a great few pages in this archives book about the last Jolly Boys outing. Here we go. Look at this. Coach explodes.
Excuse me.
The Margate Messenger, the local rag, as they used to say, the newspaper. They made the front page news about the coach. And look at that, the business card to the Villa Bella guest house where Rodney and Del stayed. And there's the poster in the pub, obviously, saying what they're doing, the Jolly Boys out into Margate. And it's just...
Obviously, you can pause that and...
it's brilliant.
And
good
zoom
stuff.
in if you want to...
Yeah.
If you want to read, guys.
It's just an absolute classic episode.
Yeah.
Really
it
is.
It really good.
Is.
And then obviously they go out, Del Boy is very manipulating and getting Rodney out because Rodney don't want to go out. But
that's it, yeah. You've got it.
And he winds him up about this Stephen around the flat.
Yeah.
And then they go out, he meets up with Raquel again. They go there.
Well, he says, a bit cold, isn't it? Cold. You don't know the meaning of the word. Should have been with me on the Russian convoys. One night, it was that cold, my flame, my lighter froze. Because, okay, then one quick light ale.
But that was the final straw.
But then...
So he meets Raquel. The great Ramondo, is it?
Yeah, the great Ramondo, the magician.
Yeah. He's gay.
He's as bent as Larry Grayson.
He still gets a smack from Del Boy.
Oh, God. But the best thing about it, when they get locked out, and all of a sudden they say, throw something up in the window.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he picks up a piping stone. But that leads to the best final scene, guys, which we all know if you've watched the episode, is when he's on the phone to Raquel and he said, "Oh, Albert, he's all right now. Oh, didn't you hear? You got a whack on the head." And of course, then he's saying, then obviously Albert said, bloody Robbo's done it, should be locked up. And then obviously then he says, tell them what happened to Boise and Mike on the nightclub. What did happen? Someone chucked a suitcase through a window, caught Mike right on the shoulder, luckily punched his head, broke its fall. So that's my point, guys, really. Forgive me for going on. I know I am, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good.
You won't get a Christmas special of a classic sitcom like that again. It's...
And then there's nothing then for a few years, is that?
No, next year, Rodney come on.
No, but I mean in terms of series.
No, it's all, like I say.
So you get that, and then there's Rodney come on, another Christmas
special, 1990.
Which is him and Cassandra having like marriage problems. They're not getting on, living together and everything.
Yeah.
They actually in that mention about the Jolly Boys
can I
where
just-
he comes home and smacks Stephen on the nose.
But I've just got to point this out, guys. The Jolly Boys outing, when it was originally transmitted in 1989, Christmas Day, that got 20.1 million viewers. But the following year, got 18 million for Rodney Come Home. And again, that was Christmas Day. So the viewing figures seem to go up and down like a yo-yo, really. But again, yeah, this is a good thing about this book, really, about these facts about figures.
So with Rodney Come Home, they were having marriage problems, and then it's not one of the best episodes. It's good.
I think the first season's brilliant.
It's good. It's really good, but ultimately, it ends up with Rodney going back to live with Del.
But just think of that scene, the first scene of it. All it is, look, there's a shopping mall escalator, and you hear the voices, which Rodney was doing. So do I. This suitcase give me backache, and your mountains give me heartache. I fought for this country, did you? How'd you get on?
Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying?
basically, he's got Albert as the puppet now.
Yeah, he's got Albert as the lookout.
Rodney's working in the family business.
Yeah, he's working for Alan, Cassandra's dad.
But ultimately, they're not getting on.
No.
And there's lots of... It's worth watching.
Oh, it is,
yeah. It's a good episode. But ultimately then, Rodney goes back to live with Del
Boy.
Because they're just not getting on. And then you move on to series 7.
Well, of course, then by this time, Rodney hasn't he given his job up working for Alan in that episode as well? Did he give his job up?
In what? Rodney Come Home?
Rodney Come Home. Sure he gave his job up?
Was it that same episode?
Hang on. Sure he gave his job up working for Alan. Because Uncle Albert advised him, didn't he? He wanted to know how important he was to the company. I'm just trying to... Hang on.
It doesn't say, does it?
No.
It doesn't
Obviously,
say.
by this time as well, Raquel's moved into the flat. And Rodney has gone... Oh, just says he's gone... Yeah.
I can't remember. I know that he does give his job up.
Yes.
At some point. So, anyway, if we move on to series 7, episode 1 is Sky's the Limit.
Right.
Now, that's the one with the satellite.
Well, here's a question. What was the name of the bloke that was in the Sky's the Limit?
The name of the bloke?
The name of the bloke that Del Boy bought the satellite dish from.
Bronco.
Nobody's ever called me that. No one's called me a cowboy. Bronco.
Yeah. And isn't he Boyce's brother-in-law?
Yeah.
And he's a painter and decorator.
Yeah, and he's also...
Yeah.
As Boyce a certified nutter.
And ultimately, it wasn't a satellite dish, was it?
No.
He robbed it off the end of the runway at Heathrow.
Yeah. And that's what caused Cassandra's flight to be diverted to Manchester from Guernsey.
That's it. Was it Heathrow or was it Gatwick?
Oh, God. Oh, that's a good one, that is.
I think it was Gatwick.
Might be Gatwick.
Now I'm thinking, I think it was Gatwick.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Heathrow.
Let us know if you know.
No, it says there, Heathrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Why am I thinking Gatwick then?
Because I'll tell you why. Because Cassandra lands in Manchester, but Gatwick gets mentioned in Miami twice.
I'm sure it gets mentioned there.
No, it's Heathrow.
Because I'm sure it's...
It says there, like you say, Heathrow.
I'm sure he says a bed and breakfast.
Near Heathrow.
Is it?
It's Heathrow, yeah. Cassandra, seriously, watch it. Cassandra gets diverted to Manchester.
Yeah, I know she gets diverted to Manchester, but I'm certain that Gatwick gets mentioned in that episode. I might be wrong.
No, we know.
I might be wrong.
But it says here the airport scenes were filmed at Stansted Airport.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Yeah, anyway, but yeah, that's a good episode. What's the last words of that?
Oh.
What's the last words in that? Both of them?
Switch it off.
Switch it off!
Switch it off!
As the aeroplane's coming towards, The
way Raquel says, there's Delbo, you brought Europe, a whole continent, to a standstill.
Yeah.
And then Delbo stands and says, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, good episode. Episode 2, Chance for Lunchtime. Now that's the one where they find out that Raquel's pregnant.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, Del Boy's been selling these national anthem musical doorbells, and of course Raquel's been auditioning
That's it. And Del Boy's a little bit jealous.
Yes.
And he thinks that she's giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, yes, that's the episode where Rodney loses his job. It says here, Rodders loses his job in true plonker style.
Oh,
so it was that one.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end of that, they're in the bedroom.
And Raquel drops the bombshell that she's pregnant.
And Del Boy says, how many people do you see standing there? I see 2. And then Rodney says to Albert, you know what this means, don't you? Either Raquel's pregnant or Del's pissed.
Either Raquel's pregnant or Del's pissed.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's all come back to me.
But again,
no, this is one of my favourite episodes.
Oh, mate.
Episode 3, Series 7, Stage Fright.
Can I just
crying?
First, I think the song "Crying" that's legendary, sung by Roy Orbison. I think if you hear that song, and please answer this question, answer this, guys, if I am right in what I'm saying here. Whenever anybody hears that particular song sung brilliantly by Roy Orbison, but people think of that, it always reminds of that episode of Only Fools, if you're a fan of Only Fools, because you're thinking of here, right, yeah.
What's his name? The singing Dutchman.
Tony Angelino.
Got to keep him happy. You know what I mean?
We worked at Triggers Departing.
Mate, that is a good episode.
But the best thing about it is the Starlight Rooms, Eric.
Yeah.
And of course, him and Del Boy had a bit of a fallout over 400 quid or whatever, But of course, you know.
Again, Del Boy's just manipulative.
Yeah. But of course, he thought that Eric ran the Starlight Room. It was Eugene.
Yeah, Eugene, the gangster.
But
in that, again, Del Boy, back to his usual tricks, like being manipulative, like, you know, worming his way, getting his little, wrapping Raquel round his little finger.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of, like, performing. She's pregnant. You know?
Eric's just going to sing 4 or 5 songs.
Yeah, she's worried about doing it.
Yeah.
And then, obviously she does it with this bloke, and he can't pronounce his R's.
And he didn't tell Del Boy that from the start. That's why he sings songs without R's in them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, again, we've said it many times during this discussion.
It's another classic episode. It's one of the best. And then episode 4, Class of '62.
Where, the return of Roy Slater.
Where Roy Slater comes back into it. And again, it's all under the guise of the Diamonds from a Fulham back.
Yes, that's when Slater returned. But the one thing I will say straight away is when Rodney, obviously they're all in that room. Mike's oblivious. End of the day, the bloke played cash. So Mike's not got it down in his records.
So they
don't know who's organising this school reunion. Right? So you've got Denzel, Boise, Del Boy, and then later on the scene, Trigger. Who's
standing in the dark
on his own in another room. All the lights are out, Trigger. Yeah, but I thought I was going to jump out, surprise anyone. So when they're all together in the room now, Rodney said, "It's a bit of a mystery, this, isn't it? A bit like them Agatha Christie things." Yeah.
He scares them all. You're trying to scare us.
Right, so of course, Rodney said, "Right, on a cold wintry night in Peckham, someone has arranged for you 4 to be in this room at the same time. And none of you knows who. And the most enthralling and interesting fact is nobody knows why. Now think hard. Who'd do a thing like that?" And they're all thinking Del Boy's chewing on something and there's Boise there. All of a sudden the camera gets to Trigger. And the way Trigger says, "Jeremy Beadle."
Jeremy Beadle?
Bloody Beadle, don't you start! Jeremy Beadle.
Oh,
and I just think, now again, guys, not many people in this generation are familiar with Jeremy Beadle, but we know when the likes of Beadle's about, and that, you know, when he used to do that sort of thing, didn't he? Wind people up. So we know all about who Jeremy Beadle is, don't we really? So again,
that was that. So he did that. He organised this reunion.
Slater,
But what we learned later on is he was married to Raquel, who he calls Rachel. Who's Rachel? Uncle Albert. Who's Rachel?
Who's Rachel?
Never mind that. He's Raquel's husband.
And then so he then starts blackmailing Del Boy.
Yeah,
don't he?
He does, yeah.
Because obviously he's an ex-cop.
He's now going to say, right.
And then Del Boy and Rodney set him up because they find out about the diamonds.
Yeah, and it all comes down to Del's recent selling scheme at the time, which is these fax machines.
Yes, photocopiers.
So obviously these fax machines, as you said there, it came with a photocopier.
Yeah.
So of course they managed to find some documents in the jacket of Roy Slater. Now in the wallet, beg your pardon, in his wallet that he threw down on the table in rage in the living room. So of course he found out that these little few diamonds pugged away for the future. So which the police didn't know about. So obviously then they're blackmailing, they're telling Slater, they basically said, right, you better now sort out Raquel with a divorce. So of course if he didn't, to those terms, all that paperwork's going to get sent off to the Commissioner of Police, and that's what they put the frighteners on Slater.
Yeah.
Didn't they? So,
but then at the end, Mike comes out and he goes, oh, by the way, Del, that fax machine you sold me,
the
photocopy on it don't work.
Oh, done it?
Don't work.
So again, it's a great ploy.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Really good.
Yeah.
And then we move on to He Ain't Heavy, He's My Uncle.
Brilliant.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Knock knock. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Knock, knock.
Absolutely brilliant.
When Albert tried to win the affections of Arlene's mum down the Lag's Head for the dominoes night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, again, they're on about the problems with muggings on the estate near the flat.
Albert gets into a fight with his mate.
With Knock Knock. And Knock Knock knocks him out.
Yeah, and Knock Knock knocks him out. And he keeps exaggerating the story.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah. And again...
And then Albert's sat in the chair telling a story. And he does the lion, where he makes the lion go, "Rah!" And he goes, I did a very childish thing. I wet myself. A grown man, I wet myself. No, I didn't mean then in the jungle, I mean now. And then Del Boy gets Rodney to sit in the chair while he's reading the paper, and he keeps doing the... I mean, writing, the story.
Hang on, one thing we've got to mention as well with this episode.
Absolutely brilliant.
And you know what I'm going to... you're going to agree with me, guys. This episode was the episode where we're introduced to Del Boy's newest motor.
Oh, the Pratmobile.
The Pratmobile, the Ford Capri.
Yeah.
So, of course, Rodney now, at this time, is looking for work. So, of course, then Del says, so he says, hey, I've just bought myself a new car. It handles like Maradona.
Yes.
And of course, then he said to Rodney, I ain't cleaning it, you bloody well are.
I ain't cleaning it, you bloody well are.
Them days are long. And of course, then Rodney's out there. He says, hey, I saw something funny tonight, Del. Did you drink? What's that? Yeah, well, I walked across the estate, like, you know, and there was Dave polishing an old banger.
Yeah.
And again, guys,
found out Boise had filmed it with yesterday's news.
We forgot to mention that. I mean, again, the term trigger calling Rod as Dave all the way through it. You know, and even though
no one knows really why, do they? No, just calls him Dave.
Dave just stuck.
He just calls him Dave. But yeah, another great episode. Ultimately, in the end of that, Uncle Albert ends up running off.
Yeah.
They're going all over London looking for him. And then he's at his old stomping grounds, Tobacco Road.
Tobacco Road.
And they've built on it. And then the last episode in that series is where Raquel has the baby. 3 men, a woman and a baby. Brilliant.
Again,
absolutely
getting back
brilliant.
to Del Boy's newest scheme of selling the wigs.
The wigs.
Wigs.
Yeah.
And the way he rung that bloke up in there, he said, well, Rodders, you go around the pubs and I'll handle the telephone situation and you go to the pub and you'll plug a few there.
Yeah. How can I go up to a ball bloke in a pub? I'll get my face smashed in.
Well, either improve your sales technique or learn to duck.
Well, either improve your sales technique or learn to duck.
Yeah.
And of course, then Del Boy's up the phone, it's mate Gordon. Right, Gordon.
Listen, Gordon, are you still bald?
Fantastic. And yeah, so ultimately that's that. Obviously, Raquel's heavily pregnant and what have you.
The Damien tag.
And then the best scenes are in the hospital. Yeah, the Damien tag.
Oh, but what about when Rodders went to go and visit Cassandra and he wore that pony tag?
Oh, bloody hell, yeah.
And he's there going, it's a strong one.
Yeah.
No, he's a strong one.
That's not a mouse.
No, it's not a mouse.
It's a rat.
It's a rat.
Yeah.
Just drunk.
Yeah. So that's
So, of
it.
course,
So he
they-
worms his way back in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously there's scenes like Del Boy's holding a leg in the air. Yeah. Go on, girl. Go on. Need some welly.
Would you let go of my leg, Del?
And then
The big boy.
they hear Del Boy screaming because she's like
She's squeezing his hands.
yeah.
Is that her, Del? They know bloody well like.
Yeah.
Did that hurt, Del?
Yes, it did a bit, sweetheart.
Now you know what it's bloody well like.
And I bet when the big boy lost his wig.
Oh yeah, he lost his. Oh, he's got a full head of hair. Yeah.
Oh, bloody. Oh, God. No, because that was his one as well, with the, getting back to early on the episode. He says, "Here, brothers, I bumped into that that Stephen.
Yeah,
You know, so, oi, helmet!
Yeah.
We're doing that David Crockett out."
Yeah. Brilliant. And then so she has the baby. Obviously, they call it Damien. Rodney has nightmares about
Nightmares about thinking
it.
of.
And that's that. That's the end of series
That's
7.
then the series 7,
And
and we
then
go
we move on to Miami Twice. Now that was a 2-parter, weren't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And again, that's one of them where
He wasn't very keen on him.
it's all right, but it's not one that like you.
But
rush
again, Del
back.
Boy
You don't rush
gets on the oldie, doesn't he? Oh, that's it. He manages to worm his way onto the holiday instead of Cassandra, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's one of them where it's all right, but you don't rush back to see it.
No.
And it obviously, like, he had a double dinner, a doppel.
Yeah, a double. There was a mafia out in Miami.
And that really showed off. I mean, what a good actor.
Oh yeah.
David Jason, he's like the way he did like,
yes,
the fella as well.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's good, and they're trying to assassinate him.
Yeah.
So he can get off of a jail term.
Yeah. And again, the next part episode, part 2, How to Be in England, was just when they managed to escape and they realised what their intentions were to get Del Boy shot, and they managed, and then ended up in the Everglades, didn't they?
Yeah, in the Everglades, that's it. Yeah.
And was it the alligator?
And who is it that picks him up at the end?
Boise and Marley. And that's
that
that great line. He just,
Yeah.
Marley? Bloody Nora.
Yeah.
Oi, Boise!
Yeah.
Boise.
Brilliant.
Hey,
Brilliant.
What the hell about the bloody...
So there's good bits in it, but overall it's not up there with the best, is it?
It's
But I
hit miss with me about that, really, because it...
Yeah. I'm not. See, I much prefer the next one, Mother Nature's Son.
Yes, that was good.
With the Peckham Spring.
Oh, the Peckham Spring. Brilliant.
The Peckham Spring. So basically, Del Boy's old allotment.
Yeah.
He has a letter from the
Council to clear it up.
to clear it up. So he's down there, and then Rodney's in with Miles, who's into organic.
Well, because
food.
Rodney goes there to shop, doesn't he?
He goes to Miles's
shop.
Basically an organic store.
Yeah.
And they buy water. And he texts Del Boy, and Del was like, water at 65 pence a bottle?
Yeah.
And he just can't believe it. So basically, he sets up a hose in the allotment down.
Yeah, there's the rocks. Yeah.
And he gets this Miles down to take a sample. And basically
he took a sample of this stuff.
they start,
Volvic.
yeah, but he starts selling tap water.
Yeah.
Out the flat. He sets up this whole thing in the flat down here where he's got it,
Yeah.
It's basically on a conveyor belt where he's filling bottles up, and then Raquel and Cassandra. No, Raquel's packing them.
Yeah, and Albert. Yeah, and then obviously the water board didn't they got a major leak.
That's it.
Yeah.
But of course, the mistake that he made is there was some chemicals there.
Yeah.
And
They chipped in the first place.
Trigger and
Denzel. Yeah, because that was it. They said about that was it. I thought you said it was closed. I thought it was open. Every long night.
Yeah. And they just dump it in the water source.
Mm.
So basically he gets rid of it. He takes them to
Brighton.
Posh Hotel. And then at the end he turns the lights off.
And
they're selling Peckham Spring. And it's all illuminated. So that's a good episode.
Yeah.
And then you've got Fatal Extraction. Now I weren't keen on this. It's all right. Like Miami Twice, it's got its good bits, but I wasn't that keen on it. I thought it was quite dark.
I know what you're saying, yeah. In a way, when obviously Adele thought she was following him. You know.
That's it, yeah, the dental nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the receptionist was. The receptionist at the dentist, when Adele boy was suffering, we took out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But it was quite dark in the sense that, like, none of them were really happy.
No.
Del Boy was out all night.
And there's the rioting. The rioting down by the flats.
There was rioting and
yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest with you. There was some funny bits in it.
Yeah.
I like the bit where he goes, he's talking about Rodney in the dentist chair and he's about to numb his thing. He's going, just a little prick. He's like, oh, you know him then, do you?
Just a little prick. Oh, you know him then, do you?
And then he does that. And then another bit, he comes out and he goes, oh, right, well, and his mouth's going, no, I'll just shit here. So
he's trying to sweet talk, saying steak, you know, mushroom, onion rings.
Yeah.
All
So there are some funny bits in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. But we're going to move on to the famous Christmas trilogy in '96, and to me, again, it was. Yeah.
Now, I just want to point something out with this, okay? Because I wouldn't say it annoys me, but it's wrong. Because everybody always says, oh, when they won the money.
They didn't win it.
They didn't win the money.
Didn't win the money.
They got it from an antique.
That's right.
Called the Lesser Watch.
That's right.
Didn't they?
Harrison Lesser Watch.
Yeah. And it's the first time that they meet Raquel's family as well.
But before we go on to that particular episode, we start with heroes and villains.
Batman and Robin.
But it's again, Dell's a bit knocked because he's not been able to get a home improvement grant off the council. He's been turned down by Councillor Murray. But again, the first thing I'm going to say straight away was the legendary scene with Trigger and the brush, where Trigger says, he's been given a medal from the council. So Bush says to Della Rodney in Sid's calf, can bore you two with it now. What do you mean? She says, Trigger's got a medal. She said, where'd you find that then, Trig? I don't think I was awarded it. She said, for saving the council money. She says, this broom has had 14 new heads and 16 new handles in his time. And of course, even Sid gets in on the act and says, how can it be the same bloody broom then? Well, there's a picture of it, though. So, you know, that's, again, it's up there with the greatest scenes in the history of Animals and Horses.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously, Mike's selling tickets to this big bash at, another landlord who got a big place in the country. Anyway, where this big party was taking place, not just on the outskirts of town, and of course then it's a fancy dress party. So of course then the first prize gets it's a music centre or something.
I can't remember, mate.
Please tell us, guys, in the comments what the first prize was. So anyway, of course it's fancy dress, but as everybody knows, they didn't realise the party had been cancelled because the bloke had passed away, and it was Batman and Robin.
The best bit about that though is the way they're running, and they're running, they're going no 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 no.
I mean, the Councillor Murray as well, she's having a problem with some local thugs trying to mug her, and they turn up out of the blue, didn't they, really? All of a sudden, and Rodney says, Dell, let's go!
Dale! Let's go!
And he said, hey, look at this here, Ronnie, look at this. We've come as Batman and Robin, but Boyce's come as the Penguin.
Yeah.
And then Boyce goes, oh no, Del boy, not the Penguin, more like the Joker.
Not the Penguin, more like the Joker.
Yeah, very good. Very good, that is. And then the next one, Modern Men, because it was a trilogy, wasn't it?
The trilogy.
So Modern Men is the one where Del Boy's thinking about having a vasectomy.
Yeah. Dr. Singh.
Yeah, so he's thinking about having a vasectomy because he's reading a book called Modern Men.
Modern Men.
I'm going to have a vasectomy.
And then, ain't that one with the hairdryers or something? He's trying to flog an hairdryer to someone in the...
Yes, that's right. He's trying to flog an hairdryer to Mike in the pub.
That's it.
And that's what Cassandra's a miscarriage.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bloke is in A&E shouting his mouth off.
Punches
And
him,
it's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's brilliant. But all of a sudden, everything's all upset, obviously, because Cassandra's had the miscarriage. His bloke's mouthing off to the staff. He's had a bit too much to drink. And then Del Boyle comes along, walks along, and he said, this bloke's just been a complete prat. And all of a sudden, Del Boyle says, excuse me, sir. Bosh. And he puts...
Yeah, that's it.
Feeling better, sir. Thank you very much, doctor. And all of a sudden, there's a bloke there with like a neck brace on. He said, I bet you wish you went private now, don't you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But that episode again is just like the Grandad's funeral episode.
Yes.
It shows how John Sullivan, the writer, was just absolutely fantastic in terms of making something that's so sad and turning it into like quite a comical thing. Like the bit where they're in the lift.
That's now we're getting to time on our hands now. We're going from modern, so we're going now to the third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so time on your hands, yeah. So they're in the lift, didn't they?
Yeah, but because
Rodney can't move on from it, can he?
No, Rodney's not talking to nobody. Rodney's just shut himself off. He don't want to show his feelings.
Yeah, he don't show his feelings. He don't want to admit
So
it.
of course Del Boy then tricks him to be stuck in the lift.
He shuts the lift
He
down
shuts the lift
so
down.
he can get him talking, basically.
And again he said, that was it. He was, you know, I didn't realise you're claustrophobic. I don't. I just don't like being confined spaces like this.
Yeah, but it's like I think that's like one of the like I think I actually did have a tear in my eye.
Yeah, you will do because again.
But then literally the next 60 seconds you're pissing yourself laughing again. So it's just brilliant.
Well,
absolutely brilliant.
And
like,
of course
it's fantastic.
Del's gonna meet Raquel's mum and dad for the first time.
That's it.
So of course,
He always the table and chairs from the town hall.
Just like Denzel and Mickey Pearce struggling. So anyway, and so of course then they have the meal. But of course Uncle Albert, he gets the coffee.
He gets the coffee in the gravy. Oh, God.
Mixed up the wrong way around.
That's right.
You know.
Bloody hell.
It again come back to being well written. So of course then the following day,
they're in the garage.
They're in the garage. And of course, by this time, Del's got a load of shwaddy-waddy LPs.
He's like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's just an old watch.
No, it's a gas stove. No, on top of it. Oh, that's an old house clearance. So of course then, because he did know that...
He had a receipt for it,
well, he did know that Cassandra's dad was an antiques dealer.
Yeah.
So of course then he's checking it out going, good Lord. And he's realising, saying, have you got a receipt? Someone saying this is your property. So of course then he knows what he's on about by being about the name of John Harrison.
That's it. The Harrison Lesser watch.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
But again, so of course, this leads to the classic scene in the Nag's Head, where they're all there, and he said, so there's Denzel, there's Trigger, and of course then they're telling, well, yeah, what's happening? He said, well, so we could be famous in between watchmakers. So of course, so boys, so it's going to be auction. Yes, 3 o'clock this afternoon at Sotheby's. Ooh. So then we get on to where he says, so you two could be famous in between watchmakers. Well, why not? So people do have that limelight, some capacity in life, if it's just for half hour, an hour. So of course then he said, Rodney's really names off. You got Rennie and Renata, Simon D. And then Trigger says, well, Candy.
Yeah.
And he says, Candy? Yeah. He made one great film, then you never seen him again. And they're all just dispersed, and then they just leave Trigger.
Yeah.
Because what a great scene, you know.
Brilliant scenes. And then obviously,
they get to Sotheby's.
And then at the auction,
At Sotheby's.
is it Del Boy collapses?
Right. What it is,
And
right,
they're
Del Boy,
basically
right,
going through the auction.
they're all going through the right. Locks it, and of course they say this was found in London by 2 brothers. They kept hold of it for so many years to give us a Victorian egg timer.
Yeah, I thought it was an egg timer. Yeah.
So of course then, so
and
so he reels off.
they were expecting about 100 grand.
So he reels off.
Yeah.
The details of what's on to be bought today. Now the Harrison Lesser watch. So of course, so we're going to start the bidding at
I can't remember what it was.
Was it £4 million or something?
No, it weren't. No,
it wasn't that.
It was 100,000 something, and then it went into the millions.
Yeah, it did.
And then didn't they get like 6.2 million in the end?
Yes. And
in between, both of them fainted.
Yeah, because of course then this is what when he says about you're not too wrong, they're still going on. We're making up there.
Yeah.
So of course when they interrupt the auction and not interrupting the bidding, then next thing you know he's saying how much they've got to, and they're both then collapsed, haven't they? Well, the Rodders collapses.
Million.
Rodders collapses.
I'm
then.
sure it's 6.2 million pounds or
it
something
is,
like that.
It is.
And then obviously they go and Rodney buys Del Boy a Rolls Royce, doesn't he? And then in the pub, Del Boy gets the sandwiches because Rodney got the rolls.
No, Rodney, I'll get the sandwiches because you bought the rolls.
But again, when he bought this, when he said to Boysley, that Rolls Royce out there, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, Rodney. Tell me what drags you on this week. And of course, then Rodney's shows you the pipework and what they've got in the account.
Yeah.
And Boysley's tunes changed.
And but then we get to the full mean. Like, so for me, this is where they should have ended it.
Yes.
Okay. There are episodes afterwards which we will cover, maybe in part 4. I think we will do part 4 for the next bit. But I want to go deep into this because I think that it's really good. The message, the message behind it. So ultimately, Del Boy gets everything he's ever wanted.
Mm.
All he ever wanted
was to be
a millionaire.
Right,
he wanted the big house.
Yeah.
He wanted the flash cars. He wanted the lifestyle, everything.
But it wasn't enough.
He still wasn't happy.
No,
okay?
Because he realised.
And the reason is, and this is the mistake that, sorry to go all philosophical on you, but I think it's important. The reason is because the mistake that most of us as humans make is happiness is never at the end goal. It's really, really important that you find happiness in the journey.
Mm.
Because what Del Boy realised when he'd got all of that is, that's not what made him happy.
Mm.
It was the chase that made him happy.
Right.
That's what made him feel alive.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think as humans, we should hold on to that. We should learn something from that. And we should live each day, you know, and enjoy every day for what it is. Because ultimately, there's nothing wrong with having dreams and aspirations.
No.
But, you know, you've got to realise that happiness should be in the everyday things that we do. Like this that we're doing now. The joy of doing this is the doing it.
Yeah.
Not the end of it. Not getting to the end of it.
We enjoy talking about it.
The joy
because
is about
it's
doing
memories
and making the podcast.
Yeah, and again,
so I think that's a really strong message, and unfortunately, they had to carry it on there.
Because but
and I'm not going to say carry on and ruin it.
No.
But they did go a few episodes too far.
They went in my opinion, that Time in Our Hands episode, when right at the end, when obviously Del Boy went back to the flat.
That's it.
And Lenny Norris, that was the name, that rang him up on the old landline. And he said he got some electric carpet steamers. And of course then Del Boy wanted to, hang on, we can double our money on this. And Rodney's like, we're not in the business anymore. No.
And then what was the famous line at the end of that? Because he always says, this time next year we'll be millionaires.
Yeah.
And this time next year we could be billionaires.
That was when obviously he wanted to persuade Rodney to invest his money. Which goes back to Rodney did actually say that at the end of To Hull and Back. When Rodney got hold of that 15 grand that was left on the table when Slater was...
Yes.
So, Rodney did say that in one episode, but in the end, Rodney knew he just wanted to keep the money, didn't want to invest.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't work out, which it proved in the later episodes.
Yeah.
But I think that's when Only Fools and Horses should. When they
It
walked
should
off.
have. It should
When
have.
they walked off in the sunset, the three of
It
them.
should have.
Rodney, Delbert,
Yeah.
Uncle Albert.
Without a doubt.
Because and so that's when it should have finished.
It should.
But unfortunately, us Brits, and of course,
We always want more. Yeah.
because again, Christmas television, it's all about people. The general British public missed not watching Del Boy at Christmas, and I believe that's what made them. John Sullivan write another few episodes. Again,
So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's end that there, because I think that's a good place to end that.
Right.
So part 3,
right.
that's done. Okay.
Right.
In the next part, it'll probably be a little bit shorter, because there's only a few of them.
Yeah.
So it'll be a shorter part.
Okay.
We'll just get it done and dusted.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss those later episodes
Okay.
after that. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll end that one there, guys. Thanks for watching again.
Yeah.
Don't
Cheers,
forget
guys.
to subscribe.
Thank
Hit
you.
the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we'll see you on the next part.
Cheers.